My full name is Winston Nahoa Ahoy Kong. I'm from Waimanalo, Oahu. Welcome to my home away from home. This is my hobbit hole. These are some of the things that I decided to bring into this place because it makes me feel comfortable. And I think from reports of my students, they seem to feel comfortable too. Some of the things I want to introduce you to my party animals. They're, if you notice, they all happen to be some kind of version of a monkey. And if you realize my last name, then you would see the connection between the Kong and the monkeys. And if that's not obvious enough, we're moving right along. I have my University of Colorado jacket, which is where I went to school. I have my Hawaiian coconut hat that helps keep the sun off of me a lot because it's so wide. I have my Micronesian star map, sailing map. So these shells are actually islands, and the bamboo are actually ways to catch the wave to get to those islands. Let's see. Oh, I have my hat. I mean my paddle up there. That was given to me by some students from Windward Community College. I have that dress, that ceremonial dress, that is from the island of Yap in Micronesia. All the colors have a certain meaning, and that is something to do with a wedding, I believe. I can't remember exactly. That quilted Lawai print, or whatever it is, quilted something, was a gift from my uncle on the mainland, who was recovering from some kind of a stroke, and he had to do that as part of rehab. And because he was from Hawaii, he decided to design that and gave it to me because we have the same name, luckily for me. Some of those pictures up there, up at the top there, is my daughter's graduating class from the Johnny Burns School of Medicine. That's one of the babies that she delivered when she was still in the medical school, not quite out of medical school yet. That one, picture on the bottom there, is at the women's prison, where I'm the guy in the white hat. No, I'm the guy in the white shirt that's directing them to build the mala using the stream water. The rest are all from my children and my dad, and the hats are from Australia and Papua New Guinea. Yeah, so it all makes me feel comfortable, and when a person is comfortable, they make other people feel comfortable, and then the conversation just flows. So I like my office. Thank you for coming by. I think my life inspiration has come from my parents. I think they gave me a really good foundation in how to treat people, how to work hard, and I think they gave me a very solid foundation in culture, in nationality, and being part of my community and yet part of the world. My parents, after they got through spanking us, or me in particular, and most of all, they would say, "Nahoa, come over here and kiss me." And I was thinking, wait a minute, didn't you just get through spanking me? Now you want me to kiss you? And then it kind of dawned on me that what they really meant was they were teaching me a lesson. It wasn't punitive, but they wanted me to learn something from that. And so when my children deserved to be spanked or something, then I would always tell them, okay, now come and kiss daddy. And you could see the conflict in them, but eventually they came over and we kissed and we made up and life went on. Much easier and much friendlier than I would think just punishing somebody and then not talking about it later. So my parents, for some reason, they weren't very well educated or formally educated, but they instinctively knew that punishment covered over with some love produces a lesson rather than just an avoidance. So very few times was I punished, even though I should have been more. But I've learned a lot from their technique, strategy, whatever you want to call it. But so I carried it on to my children too. I don't know if I'm a better parent, but what I tried to do was try to integrate what I've learned in my travels and in my formal education into my parenting. Both my wife and I are college graduates, and we try to approach child rearing from an intellectual, spiritual, behavioral way, and it seems to have worked. My children are not bad. I decided to pursue a career in counseling because I just wanted to, this is going to sound very corny, just wanted to help people. Just like I've been helped a lot in my life. So when it came my turn to choose a career, I just kind of fell into it, and it's been a clear path for me. I've never wanted to change. I never wanted to try something else, but counseling has always been for me. Counseling students gave me insights to myself by realizing that, actually validating that we're all humans and we all make mistakes, we all deserve second chances, and we all can change. So every new client is a study in humanity, and I have to make sure I'm open and available to listen to their story and to try to help them any way I can, just as if the tables were reversed and I'd want them to listen to me in every way they could. So it's all about fairness, and it's all about being heard. I don't think I've ever had a real challenging time with students. There's always a place that you can meet your clients somewhere, and if you don't, you don't. They need someone else, but I don't think I've had a challenging time with any one of my students. It's the reality of either you can help them or you can't. And then what you would do is you would refer them to someone better capable. And yeah. Windward is actually, in my opinion, at the forefront of integrating Hawaiian culture into the University of Hawaii system. And I've been here since 1991, and when the Hawaiian population was 5%, and now it's about 45%. So I think, in my opinion, I think Windward is doing a great job. Now, that's with the recruitment of Hawaiian students. As far as integrating Hawaiian culture into policies, that's a little bit harder to do. But I think starting with buildings having Hawaiian names, I think trying to integrate Hawaiian values into the syllabus, into the classroom, I think those are all great steps, and they just need to continue. I think ideally you want to have the same graduation rate of Hawaiians as you do recruitment rate. However, I think Windward in particular needs to, they need to spend a little bit more time on creating strategies for retention. We've got them coming in and we've got them graduating, but how do we keep them in? And I think not only Windward, but all the campuses, all 10 campuses need to focus a little bit more, I think, on retention strategies, how to keep them in once they're here. Well, thank you for asking about the rock. This is not Dwayne Johnson, the rock, but this is our rock. And this rock actually was laying in the bushes there while we were trying to clean up, and we would step on it and we would walk all over, we would go around it and moving everything around, and it just sort of was in our way, and it began to enter my thoughts more and more about this rock that was in our way. And then it occurred to me one day, well, why is it in our way? Let's see what we can do to move it. And as soon as we moved it and we turned it upright, it dawned on us that it was there because it wanted to be part of the makeup of this place. And so what we did was we were building an ahu anyway, and we needed a centerpiece. And this rock said, I want to be the centerpiece. And so we said, fine, you can be the centerpiece. And a lot of people have commented on it, and a lot of people said, did you bring it in? Did you carve it? No. It was just a rock that was laying there that wanted to grow up and be somebody. And so there it is. The importance of maintaining culture in a changing, dynamic society is that your culture actually provides the roots of your existence. And then the modern society that is around it provides the growth and the opportunities for you to experiment and to live and to bring back to the original culture and make that original culture a little bit forward thinking and moving along. In my particular case, leaving home after high school, going to the mainland and not coming back for about 10 years, I really learned a lot about the states that I was in. It happened in the 60s, so the social movement, the idea of the government came in, the idea of emphasizing free speech. All of that was mind-blowing experience for an 18-year-old from Waimanalo. And so what I've done with that information is I've tried to raise my children with the idea of being coming from Waimanalo but being part of the world. And by that, I mean travel, new experiences, in some ways challenging tradition, in some ways being very traditional. So my girls speak Hawaiian, and they were raised in the ocean, so they know how to fish, and they know how to paddle, and they know how to take care of themselves in the ocean. And yet, my girls have been to England, Australia, Italy, France, all over the world. And so I think, just like King Kalakaua's study abroad program, I think his idea was you go away, you learn as much as you can, and you come back and you make your place better. I think that's the message that I received by going away, and I think that's the message that my girls have received. And I think I hope for every child of Hawaii to go away and come back and make this place better. KūPono Hawaiian Club started in 1993. That's the time when Frank Kawai Kapuokalani Hewitt, who was teaching Hawaiian language and Hawaiian culture here at Windward, decided to leave Windward and go on and help develop his new career. So he asked me if I would take it over. The club was named Hui Malama at that time. And I told him I'll take it over until you get back. I just happened to see him a couple weeks ago, and he's not coming back. So, Gus has graciously accepted the responsibility of taking over the club as of December 31st, 2016. But it's been a good club. I think what we've done of note is I think we've been able to create situations and events on campus that were not here before, typical of the Hawaiian culture, that have become traditions. For instance, we started the KūPono intercollegiate volleyball game that's been going on for about 20 years now, and it involves all the Hawaiian clubs from all the campuses, the community college campuses on Oahu. So every year they pay an entry fee, and we use that money to rent the gym and also to buy turkeys. And what we do is we put the turkeys in the imu and we give them away to various organizations in the community that deal with the less fortunate, and in Kaneohe, Kailua, and Waimanalo. So we've been doing that for 20 years or so. The volleyball game, and then the imu. A few years after we started the volleyball game, somebody said, let's do it in some sort of a Hawaiian way. And I said, well, why don't we just cook the turkeys in the imu, then people will learn how to do the imu, and we can leave a tradition. And so we started doing that, and with another 20 or so years for that. And so we've been very fortunate. I've been very fortunate because as part of my counseling duties, I've been asked to get involved in certain organizations in the community, and a couple of those organizations are the Women's Community Correctional Facility, the Domestic Violence Abuse Center in Kailua, I'm on the board of the Hui Malama Oke Kai after school program in Waimanalo. I'm on the board of Napuno Eau, Gifted and Talented Hawaiian Students. And I just got off the board of the Friends of John A. Burns Medical School. And through all of that, I don't know if I gave as much, but I think I've been given a lot. First of all, as far as the women's prison goes, these are the mothers of our future population. And that is not the environment that the parents of the future leaders should be in, I believe. Everybody makes a mistake, but not everyone is a criminal. And I believe that actually, in my opinion, about 90% of the women that are incarcerated are not criminal. Well, they're lawbreakers for sure, but I don't think you would cast them in the rigid category of criminals. A lot of them are drug related, a lot of them are because of lack of education, lack of good role models, poverty, so forth and so on. They're the result of the society. I don't think that they are. I don't think they determine society. As far as the women's domestic violence shelter in Kailua, once again, these are victims, and once again, I believe it's a telling mark on society rather than on them in a lot of cases. So I think in my mind, I think there's a lot of society has a lot of government has a need to revamp and try to include rather than exclude some of these populations that have been warehoused away from the general society. I think we need to find more ways for these people to be brought back into society rather than just warehoused somewhere away from society. And now Hawaii has decided to, or for years now, they've been sending prisoners away from Hawaii, which cuts them off even more so from any possible correction, rehabilitation, family connection, that kind of stuff. And so I the reason why I'm working at those places is because I just want to find a way to reform the prison system and to get these people back into society as contributing members, rather than just isolated away from society. I don't think anything gets done by doing that. I'm about to retire from Windward after 25 years. It's been a wonderful ride. I'm very grateful for the people that hired me in the beginning, especially since I turned in my application in pencil. Not normally done. But as far as my adventures, potential possibilities, opportunities, at this point in time, I think I'll just take it one day at a time. I look forward to working in my yard. I look forward to connecting with old friends. I look forward to having my time for myself. I look forward to doing the things that I want to do when I want to do them. So that's my great adventure. You can join me if you want. My proudest accomplishment are my two girls. People always say, those two girls belong to you? You go, yes. And their mom. And, my wife and I shared equally in bringing them up. 99% her, 1% me. And so both of my girls are doing well. One is a social worker. Actually, she's the manager of a spouse abuse shelter on another island. And my other daughter is a physician. She's a family practice doctor with a specialty in OBGYN. So I think they're appropriate for what they're doing. Every time you talk to them about their job, they start smiling and they're very happy about what they've chosen. I asked my daughter, the daughter that's a doctor, I asked her, when she was little, I asked her, one of these days you're gonna have to get a job. And she said, okay. I didn't mean that job. So, she's happy where she is. She's doing what she's wanted to do, which is to help people. And the same thing goes for my other daughter. She's helping people as much as she can. And so I'm happy as long as they're happy. That's my greatest accomplishment. Now, what would I tell my 20-year-old self? I would tell my 20-year-old self, to keep an eye out for opportunities, because they're all over the place. And that's how I came to be where I am today. Move away from home, learn as much as you can wherever you are, and come back and try to make an impact on the people where you live at this point in time. So I would just tell anybody, any 20-year-old, experience the world, try different things, have fun, laugh, make friends, but then don't forget where you came from, and do as much as you can when you get back home. That's it.